Picture this. A young woman opens a blank post. She's typed 3 sentences. Then she deletes them, not because the idea was bad, not because she changed her mind, but because somewhere in the back of her head, a quiet calculator has already run the numbers. What will this cost me? And the answer came back too high. That moment happens millions of times a day. And it never makes the news because nothing happened. No headline. No viral clip, just silence where a voice used to be. We like to tell ourselves the internet is the great equalizer, a place where your ideas matter more than your gender, your passport, or your face. But for a huge number of young women, the digital town square isn't a stage. It's a minefield. And they've learned exactly where the mines are buried. This isn't a video about trolls or just ignore the mean comments. This is about something closer to a system, a quiet, decentralized campaign that pushes young women's voices out of view, one deleted draft at a time. So let's actually decode it. How it works, why it's older than the internet itself, and what it costs the rest of us when it succeeds. Let's follow 2 people. We'll call them Alex and Maya. Same ambition. Same platform. Very different experience. When Alex posts an opinion online, he expects pushback. Maybe someone fact-checks him. Maybe someone calls him wrong. Fair enough. That's the deal you sign up for when you speak publicly. But here's the thing. It's almost always his argument under attack, not him. Maya posts the same kind of opinion, and the attack shifts targets entirely. Suddenly, it's not about what she said. It's about her. Her body gets evaluated. Her intelligence gets questioned. In the worst cases, her safety gets threatened. The argument barely enters the conversation at all. That's the gag effect. For young women, visibility comes with an emotional tax that men rarely get billed for. And when the cost of being seen gets high enough, silence stops feeling like giving up. It starts feeling like the smart move. The numbers back this up. Plan International's 2020 Global Report found that 58% of young women surveyed globally have been harassed online. But the number that actually matters is what happens next. Roughly 1 in 5 of them either stopped posting altogether or drastically cut back. That's not a handful of hurt feelings. That's a mass exodus of voices we never got to hear. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. None of this is new. It's just wearing a new outfit. For centuries, societies used sumptuary laws, actual legal codes dictating who could wear what. Certain fabrics, colors, and jewelry were reserved for the right people and forbidden to everyone else, regardless of what they'd actually earned or achieved. The entire point was to stop potential from ever outrunning proof of status, to make sure a merchant's daughter could never dress like she belonged among nobility, no matter how much money she had. We don't write those laws into legal code anymore. We just enforce them on the timeline instead. When a young woman is ambitious, competitive, or simply loud about her opinions, the pile-on isn't random. It's a message. You're not supposed to take up this much space yet. It's the same old rule, just running through comment sections instead of courtrooms. This same dynamic follows women straight into the workplace. It just changes shape again. Alex tends to get handed the flashy, high-stakes project. The one everyone will see. The one that proves he's ready for more. Maya, meanwhile, often ends up holding down the roles that require constant firefighting and quiet upkeep. The stuff that keeps the department running, but never makes it into a highlight reel. Here's the cruel twist. Her reliability becomes the reason she doesn't move up. Nobody wants to lose the person quietly holding everything together. So instead of her competence opening doors, it gets used to keep her exactly where she is. She's not passed over because she can't do more. She's passed over because she's too good at what she's already doing to be allowed to leave it. Now, you've probably heard this stat before. Men will apply for a job when they meet 60% of the qualifications, while women tend to wait until they check every box. And the usual takeaway is, women just need more confidence. Stop holding yourself back. But flip that around for a second, because that framing quietly blames the person instead of the pattern she's responding to. When a man shows up 60% qualified, most hiring managers see potential. We'll train the rest. When a woman shows up with the exact same 60%, she's far more likely to hit a manager thinking, she's not quite there yet. She hasn't learned to doubt herself for no reason. She's learned through actual experience how her gaps get read differently than his. The same double standard shows up online. A man voicing an opinion backed by 60% of the facts reads as confident. A woman doing the exact same thing gets told she's not informed enough, that she needs to come back once she's sure. That's not a confidence problem. That's a rational reaction to a system that grades her on a much stricter curve. This creates a strange, exhausting trap. For many women, being excellent at your job becomes the very thing that stalls your career. McKinsey's research has repeatedly shown that leaders are stepping up as champions for employee well-being and DEI efforts at notably higher rates than men. They're often the ones holding teams together, especially in hard stretches, and they get real praise for it. So reliable, we don't know what we'd do without her, which is exactly the problem. When a promotion opens up, the thinking becomes, who's going to do her job if she moves up? Meanwhile, someone like Alex gets described as restless or visionary, not because he's necessarily better at his current role, but because moving him up looks like unlocking potential instead of risking a gap. Her reliability becomes a cage with really nice lighting. She's not stuck because she isn't capable. She's stuck because she's too capable to spare. None of this is unsolvable. It just needs deliberate, specific pushback, not vague good intentions. If you're a guy in this picture, notice who's actually getting the visible career-making assignments. If you land the big project, pull a female colleague in for a real visible role on it. Don't just mention her contribution afterward. And in meetings, if she said something valuable to you privately last week, credit her out loud this week. Let her ideas show up in the room even when she's cautious about pushing them herself. If you lead a team or a company, rewrite what leadership potential actually means in your performance reviews. Swap out fuzzy traits like charisma for things you can actually measure, like influence on strategic decisions. And look at your own promotion data. If women are consistently stalling at the same level while men accelerate past them, that's not a mystery to philosophize about. That's a pattern to fix. If you're a woman navigating this maze right now, don't just list what you've already proven, pair it with the future. Instead of stopping at I delivered X, add, which is exactly why I'm ready for Y. Stop waiting for someone to notice your potential. Say it plainly, on the record. The silencing of young women's voices online isn't some brand new digital problem. It's an old familiar reflex, just running through fiber optic cables instead of law books. A culture that promotes men on potential and only trusts women once they've overproven themselves isn't just unfair, it's inefficient. It's actively bad at finding its own best people. So here's the actual shift we need. Stop assuming capability in some people and demanding a mountain of evidence from everyone else. Assume potential in everyone, and let the results speak from there. The rules that built this maze were unwritten, which means they can be rewritten. 2. What's the proof tax moment you've noticed in your own life or someone else's? Drop it in the comments. And if this one hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next one.